Morty the Morton Street Bus, written by Molly O'Connor, illustrated by Michael Swam, and narrated by Jessica Meyer. Copyright Mousegate Press, 2021. To all trusting bus passengers. Morty the Morton Street Bus was proud, rightly so. He never drove too fast, never too slow. He was never late, never broken, never loud. No one was ever jostled or bumped in the crowd. An accident? Never! Who ever heard? Why, Morty's engine fairly purred. He always drove carefully in ice, snow, or sleet, and looked every way that traffic can meet. The mechanics checked him every week. If they heard even a murmur, they gave it a tweak. He never missed work, not once in 6 years. His passengers knew how carefully he steers. They ride in comfort without worry or fears. Never a problem, not once in 6 years. Mr. Finley got on at the very first stop. Absorbed in his paper, he never looked up. Mrs. Russ always nagged and made such a fuss. One would think she shouldn't ride on a bus. Near her stop, she always screeched, "Stop!" and more, even though Morty stopped right at her door. Miss Fitch always said she could trust him, she did, to get her cream pie home without a lick on the lid. She waddled and twaddled and shuffled her feet before she got settled down in her seat. Yes, his passengers trusted this bus, and more. They sat with ease when he closed the door. Never once did Morty have a problem, not, that is, until Tuesday last. Morty hiccuped. His cup flew, the newspaper too. Mr. Finley stared. A bus with a hiccup just can't be compared, or even imagined. Who would even have dared to think this could happen? They were so unprepared. It took Morty 3 minutes to gain his composure. Still puzzled by what happened, he set out less sure. He straightened his wheels and got his stride, and saw Miss Russ waitin' by the curb for a ride. There she was, with a bird cage in hand, waiting under the sign where passengers stand. "Now, Morty, be careful, you must understand. I need to get Tweety home safely, I demand." The bakery was the next stop down the road. There was Miss Fitch with her usual load, those gooey and sticky Boston cream pies, known to have contributed to her very large size. Then, right in the middle of the lane where Highland and Morton meet Main, Morty hiccuped. He stalled. "Catch my Tweety, oh you dreadful bus! Just look what you have done to us. Look indeed, poor Miss Fitch, what a disgrace! She had Boston cream pie all over her face." If that wasn't enough, the canary, it seems, perched on her nose, pecking the cream. Morty hiccuped, the biggest one yet. Miss Russ landed on top of Mr. Finley, on top of Miss Fitch. The canary was shrieking at a very high pitch. Unhappy Morty was so very upset. This was a day he'd never forget. Never, ever would he live down the shame. "Morty, it's not your fault. You're not to blame. You just need a drink," Mr. Finley spoke. "It could have been worse. Nothing is broke." Morty pulled into a station and had a long drink. Back on Morton, he began to think. The water cured and fixed the cause. His passengers clapped a loud applause. "Stop! Stop!" screeched Mrs. Russ. She always made such a fuss. One would think she shouldn't ride on a bus. Morty stopped right in front of Mrs. Russ's front door. Now everything is fine on Morton and Main. Morty is happy and never hiccuped again. All his happy passengers gathered about, raising their voices in a mighty shout. Hooray!